what the WWE probably told Bayley is that don't appear on camera, watch it from maybe backstage or somewhere where they don't know where you're sitting so they can't focus on you. And they're okay with that as long as nobody really knows you're there. There are places, and Teddy knows this, and you know it too, Mac, that you can hide in the balcony of an arena.
Yeah.
They're all the way up in the main balcony with the fans, and nobody's going to know. The announcers aren't going to say, hey, isn't that Bayley up there in the high seats?
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to an all-new episode of the Wrestling Time Machine. I'm your host, Mac Davis, and of course, I'm joined every single week by two great guys. First of all, he is a pro wrestling journalist, and he's very famous, Mr. Stone Old Bill Apter.
That's
hey,
me,
Bill.
and I got my Tick Cracks. I got a brand new box of Tick Cracks since Teddy named it there. I made this famous in Las Vegas. All the wrestlers were saying to me, because they heard Teddy do this on this show, hey, Apter, do you have any Tick Crack with you?
Any Tick Crack.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
And of course, Bill's referring to none other than WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. Teddy Long. Hey, Teddy.
Oh, you ain't got to go through all that primping up, trying to make me look like I'm somebody. I don't need. Let's get the show started.
Yeah,
I've had it. I've had it with you.
There's something missing.
I wasn't the one having technical issues when I started this show.
Gentlemen, there's something missing here.
What's that?
We need theme music. You know, every podcast on WrestleBinge has theme music, but we don't.
We don't even have a video open. Nothing. It's just no frills.
But you're the
Wrestling
maven.
Time Machine.
You are the maven of making video openings.
Oh yeah, I do a lot of those video opens, but you just can't throw them
Can't
up
keep
there.
doing it for free.
That's right. There you go, Teddy.
There's some Tick Crack in it for you.
Let me ask you guys, AEW has just had a monumentous, to them at least,
monumental
episode recently.
Teddy, he sounds like Don King. It was monumentous.
It was monumental. But Dynamite, AEW's Dynamite, has now aired more episodes than WCW's Nitro. Now, I know they're all excited about that, but here's the question. Can you really compare those two shows, Bill?
Well, it depends what era you were. You know, if you watched WCW, it was its own product with its own stamp on it. AEW's different. AEW, to me, is more hardcore. It's more like an ECW type of audience at times than WCW was. WCW was World Championship Wrestling, and they did a lot more wrestling on there. There are good wrestling matches on AEW, but again, there's a lot of hardcore stuff on that show. So I wouldn't compare the two of them. They're two separate entities, and I don't see any resemblance between the two of them.
I don't either. Teddy, what about you? Do you think it's such a really big deal that Dynamite's aired more episodes than Nitro? Because at the end of the day, it's, what's successful and what's not, right?
Well, like I said, AEW Dynamite or whatever it is, I don't watch it, so, I can't hardly speak on it, but I don't think that has anything to do with anything. I don't think it makes a difference at all.
And, I agree. I don't think that you can compare what Nitro was at its time as to what AEW is now. I think AEW had a little bit of that WCW feel when they first began. I think people had that kind of connection and nostalgia towards it, but they've long passed that. I don't see that anymore. Bayley, let's talk about Bayley here. Bayley told Chris Van Vliet that she goes to AEW to watch Mercedes Mone and her matches. And she says, quote, "When I've gone to watch Mercedes wrestle, it was a thing where we had to have a conversation with me in the office where it was like, is this okay? They told me the do's and don'ts. And on her side, they said, everything's fine. But I don't ever want to disrespect the WWE. I don't ever want to come off bad or look like a traitor or anything like that. I love wrestling. If there's one thing that the fans know and that the WWE knows is I love this and I'm going to support any type of wrestling or any company. But Wherever my best friend goes, I want to be there for her. Teddy, your thoughts on Bayley's comments and going to other shows at AEW and having to get that permission? Let me ask you this first. Back in the day when Vince McMahon was there, was that a possibility, or is that something new that's happened? They've kind of loosened up a little bit, let people go to other feds and be in the background.
Well, I think they just started doing that. Like you said, maybe they loosen up a little bit. Vince would never do anything like that.
Yeah, it seems strange to me. I'm just sitting here thinking about it. But Bill, you knew Vince as well and some of the workings there.
No, it never would have happened.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
You would have been fined possibly, but keep this in mind.
And Bill, you know Vince, you'd have been fired, not fined.
Yeah, fired and fined. Fined first.
Yeah.
Get the money first.
Now,
the deal, though, here is that what the WWE probably told Bayley is that don't appear on camera, watch it from maybe backstage or somewhere where they don't know where you're sitting so they can't focus on you. And they're okay with that as long as nobody really knows you're there. There are places, and Teddy knows this, and you know it too, Mac, that you can hide in the balcony of an arena.
Yeah.
They're all the way up in the main balcony with the fans, and nobody's going to know. The announcers aren't going to say, hey, isn't that Bayley up there in the high seats 10 miles up? No, but it's very cool. She's still a fan. Mercedes is her best friend, and it's nice to see the support. But the rules brought down by WWE will probably just don't let anybody report that you're there.
But again, back in the days of Vince McMahon, never would have happened.
Absolutely not.